Welcome back, like Mace. Welcome back to another episode of
Real
Rip
Girl
on Talk.
Talk.
My name is Ari and Limas, aka Ari
And I'm Ashley.
Santiago. Don't forget your last name.
I was just going to stick with Ashley, but I'm Ashley Santiago, real estate agent.
Yeah, we got our Instagrams behind us. Follow us. We got a lot of good content. So the reason why I'm pointing out all these cool things that we got,
Yep.
little screen here in our podcast room, is today we want to talk about technology in lending and real estate.
Yeah, like technology, it's huge. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere, and it engulfs every sort of business that you're going to get into,
Yes.
which includes ours.
Yeah, and it's something that we use a lot to help our business, but also our clients.
Yeah.
So,
And one of the things that I want to talk about is right now. What we're doing right now is information available to everyone on demand,
all the time.
which is amazing because if you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're just sitting there, you can click on a YouTube video like ours, so subscribe, and you can learn about anything.
Seriously.
And I think that's incredible. If I'm ever thinking how do I cook an omelet? Go on YouTube, click on YouTube,
There's 20 different ways.
instantly. Instant access to information. And I think that today that's very important. And to turn that into what we do is also instant information. So if somebody wants to learn about loans, somebody wants to learn about real estate, they can literally just go anywhere and instant information is there.
I mean, I would say probably 100% of my clients, even before they're looking, they're talking to a real estate agent, they're already surfing Zillow or Realtor.com.
Googling everything.
Every property out there. It's good. It's good. There's information available to anyone. Really doesn't matter who you are, where you live. If you have access to the internet, you have access to so much information, right? But it helps us in more ways than just information, really.
And the thing, too, though, is there's a lot of different information.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to get every different perspective on what we do because not only is it happening in our lives or in our market, but it's global. You
Right.
can talk about global real estate. You can talk about real estate in a certain state like us. We talk about Hawaii.
Right.
You can talk about in the Northeast where we're from. You can talk about essentially any sort of market. So I think that it's really awesome that we do what we do, and it just continues to grow. So taking that into what your business is, and whether you're doing a podcast or whether you're doing a reel or whether you're doing any sort of, social media,
Yep.
it's available to everybody, which is awesome.
Social media is huge. I mean, I'm on social media every single day. I'm not always sharing every single day. I try to share every other day at least, But that's a huge way to reach,
Exactly.
new people, but also to reach out to my clients, past and current. We're all following each other. I can keep them updated on whatever events we have going on, stuff like this. Our podcast is very informational.
Yep.
So, that's definitely one way that I use it just daily,
Yeah, updating people of what's going on.
Yeah, reaching my clients. Also my family,
True.
I love that my family gets to keep track of my professional career through the internet.
I love that too. But I went back home and my family was like, "Oh, you got a podcast?" I listened to it, and I'm like, "Okay, well, subscribe." But they listen to it, and it's incredible.
Yeah, and they really do learn things here and there. The greatest joy for me is the people, my mentors in my family, are really who taught me about home ownership, and now
Yep.
I've been able to take what they taught me, make a career out of it, improve my life from it, and learn a lot more and expand on that. And now I get to give that back to them with this podcast. So it's really, really cool. It's kind of full circle.
And just answering questions that people sometimes are too afraid to ask.
Yeah.
And then we bring it up in our podcast or maybe a reel we do or something, a short.
Yeah.
So it's also connecting with people that we didn't think we're going to connect with, right? I think that's what the big aim of social media is. You want to have a widespread, market audience, right?
Totally. Like, I definitely thought when we started this, we would reach like a lot more younger people, like mostly younger people who are looking to learn about it. But I've been really surprised about the amount of people who are like, 40 and up that are still learning and still watch our podcasts and actually like approach me like, hey, I saw what you said about this. It was really great. I learned a lot about that. And I've been getting a lot of feedback like that from all different age groups, but I definitely thought it would just be younger just because of the fact that we are putting it on YouTube and the internet, right? But it's so easy for anyone to get that information that everyone's seemingly using it.
Yeah, one of my favorite kind of moments that I had with this podcast was I had a past client that said that, they were kind of getting up in the morning and they heard my voice and they were like, that's weird. And it was her husband listening to our podcast.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, she was like, oh, it's Ari's podcast. And I was like, wow, I can't believe that, yes, we do this for a reason. We want to make sure that people listen to it. But when you actually hear the story of somebody listening to it.
And a client.
And I was like, oh my God, this is great. And then she's like, yeah, I told people to watch it and subscribe. And I'm like, oh, this is great.
Oh, hey.
It's a real thing. And again, I think we do things to educate people.
Yeah.
It's there as a resource so that people, 1, learn, 2, don't make mistakes, and 3, help them achieve their goals.
One thing that I really love that you guys have is the webinar, because our clients can access that information that we're teaching them in the seminars any time of day,
on demand,
anywhere in the world. So like, I have a client, he lives here, but he's a doctor, and his schedule is crazy, and sometimes he gets called in and all this stuff. So he has a tough time making it out to the seminar, but I'm able to send him the webinar. And he is active duty, and there's a lot that he doesn't know. He's never bought a house before, and able to learn a lot from that webinar on his own time, can pause it, rewind, whatever you need to do to kind of get the information. So that's one thing that I'm really loving.
No, that's one of the cooler things that we've done here. I mean, shout out to the media team, as we literally went on location and shot at locations and taught people about these things, whether it be VA or things like that. The live one is a little bit more specific to VA,
right?
But it's awesome that like we're out there talking about, in the background there's a beach we're talking about,
right?
And it's like, oh, you could live here, and it's more when people see we're visual people, right? So once we see things, we're like, okay, this is cool. You comprehend way more, at least myself, I think, on a visual aspect, because I can read words all day. I'm not gonna learn as fast as
implement it.
I am a doer when it comes to that. It's all different. I always equate things to learning as you can read about hitting a 90-mile-an-hour fastball as much as you want, but until somebody throws a 90-mile-an-hour fastball at you, you don't know yet.
Yeah.
So it's cool, So having that on-demand webinar, it brings people, 1, to Hawaii, which is really cool because they get to see all these places that essentially they can live and they can go visit.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is they get educated.
Yeah, like how many people think they can't live in Hawaii? Like so many people think of it as like a dream that's unattainable, but it's really real. Like neither of us are from here.
No. Attainable. My thing is, we talk about this all the time, but attainable goals and education. So spreading both of those ideas or ideals is incredible to me.
Yeah, you get to share that with everyone.
And then again, technology just throws that into, it's crazy too, because like think about like open houses. Like let's just say you have a client in Virginia and they're moving to Hawaii. You can do virtual tours.
Oh, yeah. I would say probably about 1/3 of my consultations every year are via Zoom. First of all, that's been a really cool thing that we can use to kind of, when we can't get face to face for one reason or another, or even if it's just easier for someone to go on Zoom, we have that, and it's kind of like sitting at a table together. It's really not
face to face.
Yeah, it's really not much different. Sometimes I think it's even a little can be better, right? Sometimes when I'm face to face with people, there's people walking by. by, if we're in a public place, right? It's people walking by, cars driving by. Either one of us can get easily distracted. But sometimes I find when we're on Zoom, because we're looking at a screen and we're addicted to screens, we're just like looking at each other.
You don't have to put pants on.
I do, but
I do too. And for everybody watching, if we're doing a Zoom call, I have pants on.
But I don't have to.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, I think that's the cool thing about just having this. We have a computer in our pockets
Yes.
all the time,
Yeah.
and we can communicate with people across the globe.
Yeah.
So to use that in our markets,
It's pretty cool.
it's pretty awesome.
It's really like a strong tool to have, really. I mean, everyone has it. It's not like I have this really great tool.
Right.
No, no, like everyone has this really great tool that they're carrying around with them.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be spying on you all the time, but it's also healthy.
But utilizing, I think, technology's there, right?
Yeah.
But utilizing it the proper way is how you get really good with social media, with any sort of tech stuff, and being the first people to do this or to do that. You have to grow with, it's an ever-growing industry, especially now with the technology.
And
It's continually growing.
it's kind of like a new kind of like vulnerability that you kind of need to have. Like you need to be a little bit vulnerable with technology. You have to step outside your comfort zone a little bit if you want to take advantage of the current things that are happening.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I always go back to one thing is necessity. Like necessity is the mother of invention, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all these things are there because we need them. So you're thinking about what happened in COVID, right?
Right.
How many virtual tours are happening, or how many people went in with these cameras doing all these 3D tours? That creates a business. And then if you're the first people there.
That's when I was shopping for a house. COVID. Yeah, like when I first did my very first consultation, everything was Zoom because we couldn't really meet up in person. It was like not allowed, So luckily things loosened up. We were able to start seeing houses in person. We didn't have to do the virtual tour, but that's something I provide to my clients a lot.
Yeah.
Virtual tours.
Like you said, sometimes maybe they're not available.
I even have a drone guy that like I work with so I can get good footage of places. Because sometimes, the connection on the FaceTime or the Zoom isn't always great, right? So, there's a couple ways, right? You can go with the gimbal on the phone so you get a nice steady shot. That's one piece of technology that I love.
Yep.
But also drone footage is a huge thing because they can film it like a virtual walkthrough, essentially.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. They use a gimbal too, though. So that's why sometimes I just use the gimbal because cuts out the middleman.
I mean, it's definitely cool. I mean, and one thing that we do here at Loan Depot is the media side of things.
Oh, yeah. I love the media team. Thanks, Alfredo.
This is Alfredo Ryan. Shout out to you guys. Making this such a special moment because it is. It's one of the biggest financial decisions you're ever going to make.
Yes.
So why not make it a celebration? And if you guys have ever seen any of our videos or any past clients that work with us have seen the videos and the, all the pictures and all the cool things.
Signings, the parties.
Yeah.
When the clients get their keys, there's all kinds of stuff that these guys, first of all, the GDS team at Loan Depot are the workhorses of Loan Depot.
Backbone. I always say they're the backbone.
These guys are working like however many hours.
Way harder.
Doors are open.
way harder than me. I can definitely say that.
There's more content going around here than there is anything.
And it's a great and just little things like we had a gift day.
Oh
right?
my God, the gift day was so fun.
And if you don't know what a GIF is, it's kind of like a small little snippet of you doing something in maybe like a second or second and a half, and it kind of loops continually. So
We have a really great GIF. I don't know, Alfredo, if you could maybe edit it into the podcast. Maybe at the end, a little celebration gift.
but it's great. But just the fact to offer that to not only our clients, but, realtor.
It's a really great thing. Like when my clients have an awesome video of their signing, they love to share it with their families. I mean, it's a celebration anyway, right? But the video is just so well put together and it looks so nice.
And if it didn't happen on social media, did it ever happen?
Did you really buy a house?
Actually ever happen?
It's true. It's true. And so it's a good way to share.
And it's engaging. You know, I don't actually do it to get more clients, essentially, but, you know, I do it so that it's for the clients.
Yeah, to make your current clients happy.
Exactly. And it's a great gesture. It's amazing. You do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Red carpet, well, purple carpet. Purple carpet, and just make everything feel special. It's a big thing in your life.
Yeah.
And people that downplay it, I'm
No,
sorry.
I love the bell. When the clients ring the bell,
The bell is incredible.
I love the bell.
So buy a home with us because you get to ring the bell. No, honestly, it's a great experience. It's a great experience for me. It's a great experience for you, for the client. And again, like you said, they can just share it.
Yeah.
People can see that.
Yeah.
And then through that, you get, you know.
And I get to, like, from a selfish side, I have all of my client signings, you know, archived, and I bust them out whenever I need them or want them, and it's cool. It's definitely like a good client appreciation thing. They love it, I think. Generally speaking, some of them don't like to be filmed, but that's okay.
Which is fine.
It's okay.
To each their own, but they do, I mean, 9 times out of 10, they want to at least take that picture.
Oh, yeah.
It's a memorable moment. You just signed for a house in Hawaii.
I know. Seriously.
That's a dream. People have that dream. People talk about, oh, I want to do this in Hawaii. I want to move to Hawaii. It's attainable. Just to let you know.
Especially if you're not from here, like, if you're even buying a condo, it's probably more expensive than any house. Most people in your, like, if you're a regular human and you live on the mainland, you know,
I hate to say we're not regular. It's a different market. It's a different market.
You know what I mean? Like, houses on the mainland, you're looking at a really nice house for like 200,000, 300,000, 400,000. You know, those are our starting prices for condos here. So, like, for someone who's from the mainland and comes here and buys a house, it's kind of like taking that generational wealth aspect to like a new level. If you don't come from money and you come here and you buy any property, you're probably one of the, you know, maybe you're one of the top earners in your family. Maybe you're the first person who went to college or whatever, but you can afford to buy that place. Like, it's an accomplishment. You know what I mean? Like, in my family, like, I bought a house in Hawaii. Like, I don't know that anyone in my family has bought a house in that price range before. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't, but I know that I'm one of the first ones, and that's huge to me. It's like, you know, I'm changing that for the next generation.
Breaking that barrier.
Hopefully my kids will buy a house more expensive than me, and their kids will buy a house more expensive than them. And it's not about the money.
Well, the market's going to dictate that, yes.
Well, you know what I mean? It's not about the money. It's about it's about continuing the wealth and the education and, you know, the goals, you know, through our lineage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're kind of getting a head start on your equity and what you want to do in terms of an end game of your life, right? Because here, equity is just so much higher. Yeah. And if you do live here for said number of years, after that, you go to the mainland, you're chilling with your equity and you're buying stuff cash.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could probably buy a house cash. You could probably buy multiple houses cash.
Depending where you are, yes. You know, so I think it's...
Start looking on the internet before you even leave here.
Exactly. And all the things like, you know, you guys, I'm sure you have like portals and things like that.
Yeah.
That said,
not just portals, but I think, you know, I've mentioned this before on the podcast. Like, one huge thing for us is because I'm with, you know, a big company like Century 21, we're international. And that's another way that we use technology. We live in a really big international market. So we actually have people shopping here from all over the world. So our, you know, Century 21, when you list your house with us, we're blasting your property all over the world internationally. We're converting into other currencies and languages so that people can understand and view your property from wherever they are. And that's a really cool benefit for our clients. But also because we're with Century 21, we just have a lot of things that are interchangeable with other, you know, other Century 21 offices. Yeah. Just a huge network.
Cool. Mm-hmm. I mean, even on my aspect, doing the loan application used to take a lot longer. I mean, I can send you a link for a loan application, and it's going to take you to about 15 to 20 minutes versus me staying on the phone. And yes, honestly, I will talk to you and we'll do the loan application, but I can let's just say, we talked during the day. It was a small break in your work, and then we just decided we're going to do a loan application online. Send it to you guys. You guys do it together at the comfort of your own home, sitting there on your couch, doing it in your own pace, not having any pressure. And then the next day we talk about it, and it's that easy. 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I love that link. For one, like,
Shows my face.
it shows your face, but like it cuts our consultation time down. Before the link, really you'd have to sit there face to face.
Yep.
Either on the Zoom call or in person and get all their information. And, not that that's a problem for me, but I know like when I'm doing that, I don't want to take up anyone's time more than I need to.
Yeah.
And most people don't have all that information on them right there at the moment. They're going to give you what they have, and then they have to go home and look for it anyway. And then, all these other steps. But when you have the link, it's easy. You kind of explain the process to them. Here's the link. Do it on your own time. Usually people go home that night or the next morning. They fill it all out, and it's like, boom, it's in. It's right away. It's easy.
And it also alleviates a little bit of pressure. Because when I'm on the phone with someone and I'm asking their social security number.
Yeah, people don't like that.
It feels a little weird.
Yeah.
But now, sending that application online, it's like, okay, you take the step, and now it's on your terms. Yeah. It's not on...
People just don't like giving their personal information in general. It feels kind of weird.
Yeah.
You're so programmed now to be like, kind of weary, right? You're always on alert. So now when people ask you for your information, it's kind of, it feels a little intrusive.
Right.
You know that you have a good intention and you're going to be doing everything you need to do with it, but not everyone always understands that. So the link kind of
I love
brings that wall down a little bit.
I would say 90% of my applications are online because I like to give them
comfortable using online. Of course, you'll input all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Not a problem. But most people, I think, are more comfortable using the link on their own, actually.
Yeah, because after that, it's ultimately their decision if they want to put that information. Exactly. I don't want to put that pressure on if I'm on the phone, like, hey, what's your social? It's blah, blah, blah. And it feels kind of weird sometimes because it's like, oh, you're asking me for my social.
Yeah, I just met you. You didn't even take me to dinner.
Yeah. But if you do it on your own, it feels different. And then I have the whole story next time we talk. It also alleviates some time in terms of once you fill a loan application, I get a notification. I can look at your file. Next time we talk, we're talking real. We're talking numbers.
Right.
Instead of taking that application and then having to call you back after that and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. We're using technology in a lot of ways. I mean, we were just using ChatGPT. I mean, for like
ChatGPT.
It cuts down. Okay, we don't use it for every little thing, right?
I don't trust computers. I'm just kidding.
That's a lot. The test has determined that is a lot. No, but for me, I mean, I've been able to cut a lot of my little tasks down. Agent bios, property descriptions, things like that I have to like really sit down and like think about. Every time I write something like that, I have to get a little bit of inspiration. Where's that coming from? Now it's coming from ChatGPT.
Don't tell people that. You do everything on your own.
No, I do a lot, but I'm not an English scholar by any means.
Well, I just happen to be, but...
So I love it, there's ways that we can use it that's smart, that's helping us, benefiting us, that's not really much of a risk, you know what I mean? Because we can't really trust it fully. You still need the human aspect. You still need to be the expert of your craft.
You need to know what to ask them, I guess.
Yeah, like I said, you still need to be the expert, but you can use it to assist you.
Right.
I mean... Dude, for me, most of my clients are on automatic emails, and I tell them it's going to be an automatic email. I don't try to make it seem like it's me emailing them every other day. But I love that. My clients can stay up to date on the inventory, and I don't have to go through it every single day for each and every client and see what I need to send to where. Like, no, the computer does it for me.
It's like, this just came to my mind. It's like listening to a meteorologist versus looking on a weather app. That makes sense.
Right.
Like the weather's the weather, right? And you're getting it from a real person versus somebody just, you're looking up the weather forecast.
Right. Just kind of cuts that little bit of time out.
Exactly.
There.
70 degrees, cool, not going to rain today. Some guys like, it's going to be...
what's bad about, like, kids today don't have to wait right? Remember when on snow days, like you'd have to wait. There's that little bar across the bottom of the screen
That was the,
for your school to go by. You have to
even if you like use sneeze for like a long sneeze, alphabetically, like what's going on?
And they got technology.
It's not fair. But anyways, you know, I mean, technology is going to be here. It's going to continue to grow, and how you use it, I think it's an important thing. That why we're talking about this today on our podcast and what we do with Reels and what metrics are. Chat GPT. Sorry, excuse me. But essentially, technology is always going to be there. And we got to roll with the punches with.
Embrace it because it can help you. It can lighten your workload a little bit.
Absolutely.
So you're free to do those more hands-on things.
Absolutely.
Nah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Real Grown Talk.
Hit that subscribe button.
You got the handles there.
Come see us on IG.
Absolutely. We'll put some lives up soon and do some cool stuff. So technology's always there.
Bye, guys.